Yeah, we do.
I'd like to call our December 10th, 2012 meeting to order. Can I get roll call, please?
Mrs. Kraut?
Here.
Mr. Thede?
Here.
Mrs. Funderburg? Here. Mrs. Buckley?
Here.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Here.
Mr. Kudrick?
Present.
Mrs. Beard's here.
Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item of business is the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature by the Board of Education. Will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If any member of the board or any citizens request discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent's portion of the agenda. A, approval. To approve the minutes of the Board of Education of the regular meeting of November 26, 2012, and the special meeting of December 3, 2012. B, approval to approve the personnel actions submitted by Rebecca Peck, Director of Human Resources, employment of bus driver, recall, special education, student aid, retirement, foreign language teacher resignation, and latchkey aid. C, approval to approve the bills for payment submitted by Sherry Papazoglu, Director of Business and Operations, in the amount of $2,068,509.13.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move we approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Support.
I got a motion by Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Ms. Kraut. Can I get a vote, please? Oh, no. Sorry about that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, 7-0. Next item of business is the report of superintendent. Mr. Weiss is on vacation, so Mrs. Peck is standing in for him, or sitting in.
Thank you, Mr. Kudrick. Thought I had to stand for a minute there. Our first item is General Motors donation to the high school presentation. Mr. Hurd is here to present General Motors. Mr. Hurd?
I'd like to put him on the spot.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We're here with General Motors is here to present our robotics program. As you know, our robotics program has been very successful the last few years, and it's through the dedication of General Motors partnering with us and providing us, the engineering aspects. Because if it was left up to me, we'd probably have a Lego model that our students would be playing with. But our students have done an extraordinary job in working with General Motors over the years, and have built some outstanding machines. The one that they have with us tonight actually can go over bridges and shoot baskets, I believe, if that's the same machine. I saw it, witnessed it last spring when they spent countless hours at the high school building it and modifying and making sure everything was great and right for the upcoming competition on last school year. So each year they lend us some of their professional help, as well as some, they donate some funds as well to support our program, and tonight they're here to do that as well. So I'll actually turn it over to some of the representatives from General Motors.
Good evening, everybody.
Could you come on up here and use the mic?
Use
sir?
the mic so folks at home can hear us.
Point if I could from here.
Okay.
I think you guys can hear me from here. But before we get started, I'd like to really start by acknowledging some of the key supporters that came here with me. My name is Ed Omahan. I'm the engineering director at Romulus Engine. And to my left, I got the plant manager, Clark Freeman of Romulus Engine. We also have Kevin Finnemore. He's a cold test engineer on the V6 operations here at our plant. Some other students that we got is Chad Fick. Can you stand up, Chad? Okay, he's our senior at Romulus High School. His brother, Kyle, who's a junior at high school. We also have Nick Curry, who's a Romulus graduate attending U of M, studying industrial operations. And of course, we have Mr. Hurd and also Dorothy West of Hall Creek Schools. Yes. I mean, Dorothy, did I say it correct? Okay. Anyways, with my presentation, what I want to say is that behind every good engineer or career in manufacturing is a program at the elementary and high school levels that support math, science, and technical vocation programs. Romulus Engine and Romulus High School started our relationship together some 14 years ago when we first participated together in FIRST Robotics. And our relationship continues to grow and prosper in expanding fields of technical education. Last year, Romulus contributed $10,000 to the math and science programs, and this year I'm pleased to announce on behalf of Romulus Engine another $9,000 to the Career and Technical Department. The Career and Technical Department supports classes in computer applications, accounting, integrated technology, entrepreneurship, engineering design, business law. All of these fields of study support world-class manufacturing, which Romulus Engine is all about. At Romulus Engine, we take pride in world-class quality of our products and services, and we provide our customers. And most of all, we're proud to support Romulus Community Schools via the GM Foundation Fund for Educational Excellence. So with that, here's our something that hopefully we can hang proudly at either Romulus High School, and Clark's got the $9,000 check, to support Romulus Community Schools that way. So the first thing Mike asks is that, hey, can I keep the money? So someone needs to make sure that we audit Mr. Hurd accordingly here. Okay? So this paper copy you can't cash, but that one there you could. Okay, with great pleasure, we're proud to be able to do this.
Okay. Does any board members have questions for Rob?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to compliment and extend appreciation to the corporate family at General Motors Powertrain Romulus. You have been an outstanding corporate neighbor to this community since that plant has been built. And more especially the last 14, 15 years you've been involved with our students with robotics, and I think you should be commended for that. I certainly appreciate it. I know everybody here does, and our other corporate citizens in the city could learn a lot from the General Motors Romulus Powertrain plant. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just
Yes,
had a
Ms.
comment. I remember visiting your plant, I want to say it was either last summer or the summer before last, and they have an outstanding program for our children that they actually come in and are very hands-on with our students. So I just wanted to say thank you for your continued support, and our relationship with you has definitely been beneficial for our students.
And I just want to say, Mr. Chair, I am so proud of our students, but I am proud, and GM is my alma mater, 30-year retiree from GM, so I am very proud as well. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, we really do appreciate the effort that you do and all the time that your employees do help with our students. I've seen all over at the high school in the cafeteria trying to work on the robots, trying to perfect little glitches that they come across or situations, or I'm not sure what the right name they would use for them sometimes, but I've heard a lot of good comments from a lot of the students in the past and present that have been over there working on the project. They really enjoy it. They seem to be always, a lot of the students trying to find something to keep students' attention is hard, and it's amazing how some of them just they live for it. They can't wait to get through class so they can get over there and work on that for countless hours and to go on the trips that some of them do and compete. They really enjoy it. They like it a lot, and I mean, it's a great program. I've seen a lot of students over the years go through it. I mean, you folks, everyone in your department needs to be commended. I mean, I know some of you folks don't get paid to come out and do it. You devote your own time, and that's an awesome job, because volunteering, it does make you feel good at the end of the day. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I also think it's necessary to point out Nick Curry, our recent graduate. I know because I'm that guy on Facebook. Nick does a lot of promotion and a lot of PR work for the robotics program and things, and does a wonderful job communicating and giving of his time to help his fellow students coming up through the system. So I want to thank you for that, Nick, and encourage you to keep doing that. I will. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you
Sir.
very much. Our next item on the report of the superintendent is board member recognition for Mr. Tom Kuderick. Mr. McLaughlin?
Thank you, Mrs. Peck. As we all know, Tom is scheduled to be leaving us December 31st, and this very well could be his last meeting, so we wanted to recognize Tom for his many, many years of service and dedication to this community and to the board. Anna did a wonderful job preparing tonight's reception out in the hallway. Those that are here in attendance, if you haven't had a chance, there's still some snacks out there that you're welcome to enjoy as we celebrate Tom's service with us. Tom, we had a plaque made for you. Hopefully you'll display this proudly in your home office. It's Romulus Community Schools presented to Thomas Kuderick in grateful appreciation for your many years of dedication and diligence to the Romulus Community Schools Board of Education, 2004 through 2012.
You guys can sit down. I'll save my comments for the end.
Mr. Chair, I would just like to say Tom and I have been on this journey together a long time, and you will be missed.
Thank you.
You'll be missed.
Okay, the next item.
Next item on the agenda is board meeting location. We need to have a little discussion on where our next board meeting will be in January.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I move that the Board of Education abandon all plans to move board meeting location and days to City Hall, and we retain our calendar and keep our board meetings here in this room, effective immediately.
Support. That's a resounding support.
I got a motion by Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Minnie.
Right.
Our microphones work, isn't it bliss?
Yes.
Actually,
All right, anybody got any questions, comments, concern? Okay, just, folks, if you're here tonight in the audience, please take the time to watch the video at home, the recording of the meeting, and if the sound is better or it is not better, we want to hear from you. Call Anna at the board office and let us know, because that is a crucial part. We had a company come in, they worked on some wiring underneath and resoldered some connections and redid some things, so hopefully that saved the district a lot of money versus going over to the city and utilizing their building. And there's no extra equipment that was purchased, so there's no extra equipment that needs to be.
$700, folks,
Right,
that's
that's
it.
what I was going to ask, if you
So,
could let them know how much
there
it
was some-
was.
When it was installed almost 20-some years ago, and anybody that's worked in communication and wiring, sometimes you need a little TLC to go back through and check things, and that's what was done. So who else had a question?
Nope.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 7-0 on that one, good.
Well, that was excellent discussion and decisions.
Short,
Thank you.
sweet, to the point.
Thank you. Next item, we're going to call this C1, CA. This is a resolution, an action item for acceptance of the superintendent's resignation by the board president.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move that the Board of Education allow the board president to accept the superintendent's resignation as of March 1, 2013, with active employment ending December 31, 2012. Superintendent shall use accumulated personal and vacation days from January 1, 2013 through February 28, 2013, as per contract.
Support.
Motion by Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Ms. Buckley. Are there any questions from board members? Okay, hearing none. Can I get a vote, please? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, 7-0.
Thank you. Our next item is another action item, which is for interim superintendent position.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move the Board of Education appoint Dr. Paula Daniels as interim superintendent of the Romulus Community School District.
Support.
Motion by Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Ms. Buckley. Are there any questions from board members?
Just clarification, that is as per the agreement that'll take effect January 1st.
Okay, can I get roll call, please?
Mrs. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Theed?
Yes.
Mrs. Funderburg?
Yes.
Mrs. Buckley?
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Kudrick?
Yes.
Mrs. Beard, yes.
Thank you.
Next.
Next item
Want to introduce her?
is another action item, interim superintendent contract.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move the Board of Education approve the contract as presented to employ Dr. Paula Daniels as interim superintendent of the Romulus Community School District.
Support.
Motion by Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Ms. Buckley. Are there any questions for board members? Okay. Go ahead. Is there any questions for the public? Okay, hearing none, can I get roll call, please?
Mr. Kudrick,
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin,
Yes.
Mrs. Beard, yes, Mrs. Buckley,
Yes.
Mrs. Funderburg,
Yes.
Mr. Theed,
Yes.
Mrs. Kraut,
Yes.
7-0.
Congratulations, Ms. Daniels.
Welcome. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay.
Next item.
Next item, surplus equipment, supplies at Mount Pleasant, another action item. I can go into some detail if it's the pleasure of the board.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that the Board of Education declare the inventory stored at Mount Pleasant building surplus.
Support.
Yeah, motion by Ms. Buckley, supported by Mr. Theed. Are there any questions?
Questions?
Yes, sir.
Discussion? Thank you. Mr. Chairman, this just came to my attention today, so I apologize for me not being able to, fan out to the board and ask their opinion on this. The flagpole at Mount Pleasant, the animal shelter, the Friends of the Animal Shelter, would very much like for us to consider donating that to the animal shelter so that it can be a public building with a flag. Councilman Wadsworth, as we all know, is the chairperson of that and has been the main impetus behind that. He has assured me that either Friends of Romulus Animal Shelter, the City of Romulus, or Donated Services will pay all removal and reinstallation of it. So I would, if you would like a separate motion, if board members are comfortable with that, I would specifically like for us to donate that. Our taxpayers paid for that flagpole anyway, so I would just as soon it stay used rather than just scrapped somewhere. So perhaps after we vote on this, perhaps a separate motion. I know that Mr. Wadsworth said that they would have a plaque erected with the flagpole stating it was donated by the school district. So I think that's something from a legacy standpoint that's worthwhile. So perhaps I'll introduce a motion after we vote on this one.
Okay.
Do we need to have a motion, though? I mean.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. I guess I have a question.
Yes,
Mr.
go ahead.
President. Do we need to have anything in writing from them in regards to how the exchange of payment and that kind of thing, just so that we're clear?
From the
I'll
animal
put that as
shelter?
part of the motion.
Okay.
You're talking about as far as them
Well, yeah,
removing
just
it all?
something, in writing saying what's going to be done so that both sides are clear on what actually is taking place.
I'll make that
so
part of the
it
motion.
won't be kind of cloudy or messy once it's all done.
We don't like messy.
Yeah.
Just for everybody in the community's understanding, Mount Pleasant was used more or less after it was closed, it was used as a storage facility for a lot of surplus equipment, outdated equipment, no longer usable. And the building is quite full of this stuff, and we have had some break-ins, and to keep the safety issue and stuff, and to get the stuff out of there. And some of the stuff can be recycled. The school district could probably make some money on the recycling of scrap metal and some of the electronics and out there. It's nothing too much that's really serviceable. Some of the schools have went in there and been able to find different things that they've been able to use, whether it's desks or tables or chairs for different functions throughout their buildings. But it was just a large quantity of surplus equipment when we closed Corey School, and we relocated Mount Pleasant, the adult ed, over to Merriman. So there was a lot of surplus stuff that they've consolidated, and now we need to get it out of there before it gets worse or
Right.
something.
We
So-
couldn't do anything with it until we had a resolution to allow us to dispose of some things. Obviously, we're going to keep anything of value, try to either repurpose or sell.
Do you know when this is all going to take place?
We don't have a timeline set up yet, but this will kind of give us the opportunity to get in there and start kind of separating the
I mean,
good from the bad.
there's been talk, Don Morris talked about having a jobber come in
Mm-hmm.
and bid on buying, this room of stuff for X number of dollars. I mean, but
Right.
we can't do any of that until we declare it as surplus.
Can we make sure that something gets sent to all the building principals with a deadline, if they feel there may be something usable over there, that they can go over there and look. There's no power, they gotta take flashlights, as they know, but, make sure that at least they get an opportunity. This way we don't get rid of something that could possibly be used, maybe the middle school or something like that, or high schools, or something that we could use, or
If they
one of
want to
them.
buy it, put it on offer.
Right.
And
So it's-
Rebecca, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And if we can pay attention to the boilers, because I did speak to one of the maintenance guys, and the last time they knew the boilers were in good shape, and those can be taken out and stored in their building. They said there's plenty of room, because I believe those are compatible to 2 other buildings that have boilers of that size. So that's something we won't have to buy in a few years, if we can have a company come in and look at those.
Suggesting that we move the boilers.
If they're,
If
if
we
they're,
can. We also have to
if
check our,
they're workable still.
right. I think we need to check the property is for sale as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to check and make sure that that's not part of the property that's for sale.
Yeah.
Do you know,
And I don't think
The
the
building.
flagpole,
is there any pending offers on that building yet?
not that I know of, but I'm not in the know on that, to be honest with you.
Okay. Any other questions?
I just have one other thing, and is, could we, if there is like an auction, could we just let the public know that there's gonna be one?
Well, we'd have to get the material outside to have the auction,
Well, yeah,
because
I
inside it
just,
would be very
if we do
difficult.
something,
Yeah.
where we're actually selling items, can we just let our
That
public know?
could
'Cause it
possibly
might
be a
something
spring
that they
thing, but
want.
right now it'd be hard for an auction with the weather.
Right.
Right.
So, all right, any other questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 7-0, motion passed.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go ahead and make that motion now. I would move that the Board of Education arrange to donate the flagpole from the Mount Pleasant property to the Romulus Animal Shelter, by and through the Friends of the Romulus Animal Shelter and/or the city, with the stipulation that the city provide documentation as to how and when and whose expense the de-installation will happen.
Support it.
Motion by Ms. McLaughlin, supported by Mr. Theed. Any questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
7-0, motion passed.
Okay, the next motion before us is the resolution for the Romulus Athletic Club.
Okay, I'll read these motions, folks, and we can vote on them. The Romulus Athletic Club is actually known as the Romulus Flyers, that have been into the city since 1971. They deal with the football sports, with young men and women and cheerleaders. And we had a couple resolutions. There's 18 teams that compete in this throughout the downriver area. Usually each team has about 125 to 140 individuals on each team. Some cities have 2. What they did in the past is they used to have 2 different divisions for the football league, so they would have championships. Well, what they decided to do this year is take them 2 and make a super peanut bowl. And the Romulus Flyers, the JV team, came out victorious. So I've got 2 resolutions we want to read. We presented these to them at their banquet last Saturday for the simple reason to try to get 30 players and their parents in here would be very rough, and they're supposed to be at the City Hall at 7 for another presentation. So we went to the banquet where probably about 300 people were there all together. So I'll read this resolution. This first one's for the Romulus Athletic Club. It says, Romulus Community School District's Board of Education resolution, whereas the Romulus Athletic Club is a group that incorporated in 1971 and promotes citizenship, sportsmanship, fellowship, and physical development among the youth of the city of Romulus. And whereas the Romulus Athletic Club also promotes physical, mental, and moral development and well-being of youth without regards to race, creed, color, or religion, by providing the means throughout which the individual shall receive education and instructions in sports programs. And whereas the Romulus Athletic Club over the last 10 years has been involved in over 15 playoff games and has won 6 championships. And whereas the Romulus Athletic Club cheerleaders have placed 3 times in competition. Whereas the Romulus Athletic Club has over 15 consecutive years of perfect sportsmanship for all 3 squads. whereas the Romulus Athletic Club is dedicated to being a good part of the lives of the children of the city of Romulus and provides the best possible atmosphere for youth sports. Now therefore be it resolved that the Romulus Board of Education does hereby appreciate the Romulus Athletic Club for their dedication and support of the youth of Romulus.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Mr. McLaughlin, supported by who? Sandy?
Sandy Kraut.
Ms. Kraut? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 7-0. Okay. All right, the next one, this was for the team, and, you know, a lot of our players and cheerleaders that are in our high schools started in this organization, and a lot of people in the community, whether it's employees and stuff, have had their children involved in this program, and a lot of the employees have actually been in the program as volunteers, and it does work pretty good. The next one is the Romulus Community School District Board of Education resolution, whereas the Romulus Flyers junior varsity team who traveled to Wyandotte, Michigan for a 2012 Downriver Junior Football League Championship Finals on November 17th. And whereas the Romulus junior varsity team won the Downriver Junior Football League Championship with their win over the Melvindale Cardinals with a score of 33-0. And whereas the Romulus Flyers junior varsity team has won the first Downriver Junior Football League Championship. And whereas the Romulus Flyers junior varsity team has the record for most points scored in a game totaling 63. Whereas the Romulus Flyers junior varsity team has the record for the most points scored in a quarter, 31. And whereas the Romulus Flyers junior varsity team has set the individual rushing records of 463 yards in a game. Whereas the Romulus Flyers junior varsity team has set the most touchdowns in a game by a single player, 8. And whereas the Romulus Flyers junior varsity team has had 5 shutouts, including the league championship, and whereas the Romulus Flyers junior varsity team has been undefeated at home games. Now therefore be it resolved that the Romulus Board of Education, speaking on behalf of the people of the community, does hereby tender this official resolution, and congratulations commending the Romulus Flyers junior varsity team for winning the 2012 Downriver Junior Football League Championship.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Mr. Thied. Any questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passed.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay, hold on one second. I got to make sure these two are here.
before we get into those, I just wanted to speak on both of those resolutions because, you know, something was missed. I think everybody here probably already knows this, but the amount of man-hours and resources you, sir, have put into those two programs needs to be acknowledged. You have been tireless for the kids in this community with both the flyers and with the resolutions we're about to do for scouting. So, again, thank you, and you need to be recognized for that. Thank you.
I don't mind. It's fun. I think we're going to have to skip the next one. He's not here from the...
Colton's up here.
Oh, Colton's here? Okay.
Come on in, Colton. Wayne. You.
Okay, are we ready for the next one then? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
He's like, what?
Oh, let me get this one. All right. We're on to the next one. Can we get Mr. Colton Latches come on up here in the front, please? Okay. There you go.
Colton.
How you doing, sir?
Hi.
Okay. All right. The next resolution is for Colton Lajeunesse, the Romulus Community School District Board of Education resolution. Whereas Colton Lajeunesse has devoted much time, effort, and energy into achieving the Boy Scouts of America Eagle Scout badge under the tutelage of Scoutmaster Wayne Lajeunesse, and whereas Colton Lajeunesse has completed various activities with the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts of America, including camping, community service affairs such as designing, developing, and constructing a garden box walkway at the Romulus Senior Center on Bivens in Romulus, Michigan. And whereas Colton Lajeunesse has progressed through the scouting ranks of Scouter, Tenderfoot, Second Class, First Class, Star, Life, and Eagle by earning 21 merit badges for specific activities such as cooking, camping, first aid, emergency preparedness, disability awareness, rifle shooting, environmental science, citizenship in the community, citizenship in the nation and the world. Whereas Colton Lajeunesse has demonstrated leadership skills and passed an intensive peer review by other Scout leaders and community leaders. Whereas Colton Lajeunesse had held the leadership positions in Troop 872 as a patrol leader and has logged in over 100 days of camping in tents. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Romulus Board of Education, speaking on behalf of all the people of this community, does hereby tender this official resolution and congratulations commending Colton Lajeunesse for his outstanding achievement of earning the coveted Eagle Scout badge and his numerous community contributions. Signed, President, Board of Education Thomas Kudrick, Secretary, Board of Education Teresa Beard, given this 10th day of December, 2012.
Congratulations.
Mr. Chair, can you kind of explain to people what goes into that Eagle
Yes.
Scout? Because that's very intense.
For the folks that aren't too familiar with that, the Eagle Scout is the highest rank that a young man can earn in the Boy Scouts of America. Approximately 3 out of every 100 individuals that get into scouting earn this. Some folks get right to the edge and don't quite make it, but it takes a lot of dedication, and we just read over very few of these merit badges that they have to earn. The citizenship ones are very important. Emergency preparedness, environmental science. These are things that individuals, some of these folks that have went through this troop have earned Eagle Scout. I think Colton is what, number 14 or 15? 15. So he has earned this, and out of that troop, well, there's 2 of them that are still in high school right now, but out of the troop, all of them have attended college. 5 of them have went into the culinary arts field. 2 of them have went into engineering. 1 has went into computer design and animation. So this has really given a lot of effort and a lot of direction to young men. And when they go out camping, they don't take electronic devices with them. They sleep in a tent. And the only running water usually is the water that's down in the river a lot of times, or when you're running to get it with the bucket. So Colton has been in Scouts since he's been 6 years old. He's a senior now this year. So he's finished his Eagle Project. Most of the Eagle projects that this troop has done has benefited the community in some way or another. We have had from the Kinsley House in the historical park. The boys have really been focusing a lot over into the senior area where they did some garden boxes year before last, and Colton did some landscaping around there, and I just heard of another Eagle project that's going to be putting some benches and dedicated them to different people over there, so the seniors that are working in their gardens over there that want them, they have a place to sit down when they get a little tired. They don't have to just sit on the ground. But the boys have, it takes many of hours in their project. They have to design the project. They have to secure funds. They have to show leadership in the project. And the review that they have to go through, they go in and talk to the adults by themselves. They don't have mom and dad saying, well, we're going to hammer this or we're going to buy that. They have to actually go in there and they have to detail it out with budgeting. And at the end, they have to give a report of where there was any changes in the project, whether they had to buy more wood or the project was bigger or they ran into problems. And it's pretty much gets them really prepared for job interviews when they go in there. So if you look at Colton Sash, he's got numerous badges on there. Some of them I really enjoyed working with kids when they work on them, and some of them, you know, he'll remember skills from them later on too in life that'll help him out.
Stand up, Colton. Can you, so
He has
they can
over
see your
30.
badge?
Right.
Wow.
So, Colton, congratulations and best of luck in the future too, okay? Keep working. Thank you.
Mr. Chairperson,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion that the Board of Education adopt the resolution commending Colton Lajeunesse for outstanding achievement of earning Eagle Scout rank with the Boy Scouts of America.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Beard, supported by Mr. McLaughlin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed, 7-0. We had another one, but we'll wait for him to show up. He got sick today in school and was unable to attend, but we'll have that one in January for you. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to move it to January.
Okay, so we're moving.
Okay.
Please make note.
Yes. Oh, we're going to give it to Anna. Okay.
Our next item on the agenda is to discuss the superintendent search calendar meeting on January 7th at 5 o'clock. I need some direction on that, just to make sure that we're having that meeting. Is that,
Is that the day that Marie is supposed to be here?
yes.
That's the
Yeah.
day she's
Are we
going to
supposed
come
to
down
have
and more or less get the ground rules all laid out for how the search is going to tail, give you the timelines, a little bit more detailed of the timelines, answer any questions that the board may have or community members may have about the search and the process of the search. They'll start working on the posting and then also start working with the community input with the survey. Mr. Thied brought up a comment about if folks didn't have access to computers, that we could potentially bring them here maybe and set it up where board members may be able to come in and kind of help the residents that aren't really proficient on computers. You show them, guide them around it so they can answer the questions themselves.
So that's the first Monday we come back from holiday break, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
But it needs to be started because it's
Yeah.
it's
I-
going to be a
I-
long process.
Yeah, we
I
got it.
think
I
we
think
need
so.
to, stick with the plan, stick with, 5 o'clock, and hopefully, we'll have that's the meeting where she's gonna set out the timetable,
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
More detailed information than what was here when she presented, what they do. Now it's going to be more detailed of what's actually going to get done and when. And if the board wants to move something up or move something back, that's the time we're going to be able to decide, what we want to do or add something to it, because we can, the community meetings that they're going to hold, you can set up the dates for them and locations and everything, so that way they can get that out to the public.
Can we make sure we get that meeting of January 7th in the little paper also for the community?
Yep.
Might be a good night for them to be here also.
So we'll get that special meeting scheduled for January 7th at 5 o'clock here in the boardroom. And then we'll follow that on Monday with our regular board meeting on the 14th. Excellent. Items of interest that the superintendent wished I would share with you. In your packet, the Barth Weekly Update, the Romulus Middle School calendar events, as well as the Romulus Middle School Parent University calendar events. This concludes the report from the superintendent.
Okay, the next item we have is communications and expressions from the public. I wasn't given any. Is there anybody that wants to say anything that's in the, yes, Ms. Williams, come on up. You know the routine. Grab the microphone and,
Rip.
Hello,
hello?
is it on? Virginia Williams, I live in Ramblers. I have a concern. I'm not for sure of what month it was earlier this year, March or April, that the board voted to make sure that the board packet would be on the website. It's not happening. I had a issue today. Someone asked me about the agenda and what was on the board, and I couldn't even get to the agenda.
In fact, you brought up a good point, because that's actually one of the things in my notes when I get to my chance I was going to bring up for you, but I'm glad you brought it up, Ms. Williams. Ms. Peck, can we make sure that we get that addressed for the community? Because we did make that comment back, I think it was around May, about getting the postings, the agenda and the meeting times on there. I know our last meeting, we had some parents that were concerned about the notice and employees too, so.
So the meeting and the agenda,
The agenda, and
Actually, the whole pack. The
Yeah,
packet.
the
packet?
agenda
Yeah.
packet minus the confidential
The
stuff is
confidential
supposed to
things,
be
but
up
like-
on the-
okay.
Okay. All right, is there any other ones in the community? Yes, sir, Mr. Cummings? Come on up, you
Oh,
got to
we
use the
need to get the
microphone.
mic.
Everybody,
Couple
can
questions.
you use the
Use the mic,
microphone, sir?
please.
That way they can get you on at home too.
Okay.
You got to make sure it's on.
Okay, one question, Mount Pleasant School there. I know a former board member of Romulus Little League, and I just kind of know, I don't know if you guys made a decision what's going to happen with the fields that the Romulus Little League is using out there. Going to give them an opportunity to maybe to purchase those fields or whatever be the case. They're part of the school system as well. You know, the kids are attending and playing out there, so it'd be a good thing if we can make that happen for us, Mount Pleasant School District there, school. The other thing, my understanding that the Burton Center is going to be up for sale, and you possibly have a land contract deal in place or whatever be the case. Just wondering if you're gonna have a meeting and talk to the community, the people that's gonna impact over there, how they feel about whom you may gonna be making this agreement with, some stipulations in that land contract, if that's the way you go, about how the property should be kept up and so forth, so that it doesn't become a eyesore to the community over there and those kind of things.
You read my notes, Mr. Cummings, Mr. Williams?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
The only thing that I would point out with regard to that, the last concern is we cannot place a stipulation on what the property is used for, isn't used for. The only thing we could do is advocate if and when the property is sold or it changes hands, we could advocate with the city that they enforce the normal blight ordinances and things if the building and property aren't kept up. So
I think
having
that's
a
what Mr.
community
Cummings was
meeting
talking about,
to
right,
talk
sir?
about the purposes of the building, frankly, would be moot.
Well, I'm not talking about purposes so much, but, you know, a land contract is basically like a lease, and in any lease agreement, you can put stipulations in there, different things of how the property should be kept up and so forth.
Like grass cutting and everything like that, yard maintenance. Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about, too.
We'll do our part
Okay.
on that, absolutely.
Okay. Is there any other yes, ma'am. Come on up.
Dorothy Bird, 6299 Hunt
Is
Street.
is it
I don't think
is it
it's
on,
on.
John?
Has a decision been made?
Well, hold on, ma'am. We got to turn the microphone on so we can hear you. Okay, try it again, please.
Okay, Dorothy Bird, 6299 Hunt Street. I want to know if a decision has been made in regards to the school building on Beverly Road.
Not yet, January 14th is the deadline.
Right. January the 14th, the administration has to come to the board with their decision.
Okay, has anyone of you school board members reached out to anybody in the community about that building?
There was an organization that was associated with the community. I don't want to quote the wrong thing, maybe Ms. Buckley.
City of Refuge.
What was the name?
The name of the church was God's City of Refuge.
That's the one that you reached out to? The
No, that's
church?
No, they
Reach
reached
out
out
to
to
anyone.
us.
Oh, well, I know about those people. I want to know if you reached out to anybody in the community. The church is in the community, but they're not the only people.
Right.
Right.
So I need to
I
know
have.
if anyone has reached out to us. Because I live in the community and I'm very interested in what's going on in our community. So has anyone reached out?
Go ahead, Ms.
Ms.
Buckley.
Burr, I have talked to several members of the community. I have not spoken to you. I'm sorry, I haven't done that, so maybe I need to do that. But I have spoken to several people, because, you know, my mother-in-law lives right by you. So, and I have talked to several people, because several people that live in the community also attend my church.
But
So-
did you get a feeling of how they felt about it?
Yes, a feeling of if we sell it or not, and what will become of the property, because the property has a legacy to it. Some people feel that it has a legacy to it. But, because I've talked to mostly some of the, I say our seasoned residents, I would say. So there's some mixed feelings about exactly what happens with the property. We did tell them the decision was already, you know, I spoke to them, well, we did make the decision that it is going to be sold. So, that decision has already been made. It's going to be sold. It's just that what offer we decide to take.
And what is the date?
January 14th is the deadline for offers to be in by noon of that day. The board will either act on the 14th or the 28th, depending upon if we
Okay.
need more information.
Will you make an effort to meet with some of us? You can take my name and phone number. I'm a member of the American Progressive Association, and we would like to meet with somebody before a decision is finally made.
We could do it.
Okay, we can do that, and I'll ask Ms. Peck to give you a call on that. If you want to stay here a little bit after the meeting, first you can get your name and phone number, or if you want to call here tomorrow and get with Anna, and then she can get you in contact with that, because Mr. Weiss is out right now, and we'll let her deal with that, okay? Okay, are there any other questions? All right, next one is board members. Mrs. Kraut? You got any questions? Mr. Thied?
Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate what Mr. Kudrick spoke of earlier. I think people can hear us a little bit better with the mics. We did have a company come in, so thanks Sherry for getting them in here. Hopefully the mics sound better now at home, and I believe there was a function here, Anna, and the recording was a little bit better on TV now. Oh, you're around the table. Okay, good. Also, if it'd be possible with Mrs. Bird comment, would it be possible to schedule something like at the Coleman Center or at that building, like so much a town hall meeting, but offer it to the citizens to meet? Would it? I mean, we have almost a month until that deadline, but maybe set a date and see if the community would like to come to that Coleman Center or something on Beverly.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
And give them the opportunity that night. And just probably, if this is our last meeting of the year, Tom, congratulations again and on all your work you've done here. And just happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you. Ms. Funderburg?
Nothing at this time other than happy holidays, and I hope you all have a safe and prosperous new year.
Nothing for me, the same. Happy holidays, everyone.
Teresa?
I have nothing in particular. Congratulations to Colton and to Dakota, who didn't make it here tonight, but we'll see him in January. Congratulations to Tom. We're going to miss you. Thank you for all your work here and in the community. And also happy holidays to everybody, and again, have a safe and happy new year.
Okay, Mr. McLaughlin?
Thank you. First, if you could, Rebecca and Anna, make a note. I had asked, not at the table, but I had asked Carl for a follow-up, and perhaps it's still being formulated, on the accident that happened in front of the high school, with a student driving a non-student vehicle. I'm still waiting for a full, complete report on that, please. And just to let my fellow board members know, I spent 3 lunch hours at Romulus High School about almost 2 weeks ago. It is my opinion, and after the holidays, perhaps we'll bring this up, but it is my opinion, we need to revisit our dress code or lack thereof. If we want to talk about reasons families are leaving this district, I would submit to you that at the very top of that list, or very near the top of that list, is the lazy apparel that is being tolerated in our schools, including these yoga or whatever you want to call them pants that young ladies seem to be finding are appropriate, and pants sagging around the thighs of young men. It's intolerable, and frankly, I'm tired of discussing it at this table. So I think we're going to have to issue a policy on it, because our policy is very vague, and perhaps under new administrative leadership here in the board office, we may want to discuss that. Other than that, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, have a safe holiday break. We have many challenges before us. We will hit them head on. We welcome the interim superintendent, Dr. Daniels, that will guide us and guide this ship through the next 6 months. And I'm looking forward to the challenge. And Tom, I wish you, of course, well, but I know you're not going too far, probably about 16 feet or so.
24 and a half, actually. I measured it out.
You've measured it out. But I look forward to receiving your input, your encouragement, and your criticisms. You've earned it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, one more thing, please?
Yes, sir.
The handout we got tonight about the number of students we lost, is Sherry going to do a presentation on this?
Actually, I'm going to do one in January.
Okay.
And the reason I wanted to make sure that it got into your hands is because we have a redesign meeting that is on Thursday. And I will be, this is information that the redesign committee was asking for, so I didn't want to share it with them without sharing it with you first. But I do want to go over in great detail with you, certainly the breakdown on that second sheet that you got, because it's kind of complicated just to look at.
Understand it a little bit. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last but not least here. Mr. Cummings and Ms. Williams already commented on a couple things that I had on my list. Ms. Peck, if we can make sure that we get a hold of some people in the community, Mrs. Bird over there, and see if there's residents, and find out what their vision is or how they would interpret the sale or repurpose of the building would be. Also, the agendas, I mean, like Ms. Williams mentioned, getting the agenda at least posted on the website, and also notification to the buildings. The last meeting we had, there was some confusion on the notification. Is there anything wrong with not sending a copy of the front page of the agenda along with the notifications? And why are we faxing versus not emailing it to everybody in the district? I mean, we could email it to everybody in the district and just kind of put it, building secretaries, please post this, but this way, a lot of members could actually get it that have email, and I think it would be more of a cost-effective versus faxing, right? That's a couple things. Go ahead.
The only problem with that is that sometimes we have sub-secretaries, and it's the procedure of the secretaries to post everything.
Okay.
So sometimes if there's if there's a sub-secretary and it goes into her mailbox, and it just kind of, we don't want it to ever fall off the radar where it doesn't get posted on the door.
Maybe
That's
we,
something
maybe
that
we can put
happens.
something in there where there's a couple people, the secretary, the building principal, one of them has to post it.
Yeah.
You know, because there shouldn't be both of them out at the same time, I wouldn't think, but, you know, if we could do that, that'd be great, because I know we made the commitment from the board to be more transparent for the community, and it has to be on there, and better notification, especially on the website, because there's people in the community that don't get our district email that they would like to find out about it, especially the meetings. Hopefully that could be a quick fix. Other than that, I mean, I've enjoyed working for the district. I mean, it's been fun at times. I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot, I've had great people that have given me some good advice. Miss Buckley has been here since I got here, and she was always a shoulder I could lean on, or an ear I could chew when I needed some information or needed some advice about stuff. Every member on the board, Sandy, John, Danielle, Teresa, Rob, you've all been great help. We've worked together on a lot of projects. We've spent a lot of nights and a lot of hours together. We've spent a lot of arguing. You'd almost think we're a family sometimes, the way we argue. But, you know, the holiday season's coming up. I wish everybody out here, you know, a safe and happy season's greetings and a happy new year. Be safe, don't drink and drive. And folks, our seniors from last year are going to be coming home for the holidays from college. If you have a senior or a junior in the high school and you know one of these kids coming home, have them talk to them about the college life. It's not a strange place. They'll have fun, they'll enjoy it, but sometimes if they talk to somebody in their community that they've known from school to find out what colleges are like, they might be a little bit more open-minded about it and get more focused and find out what's actually up there. And take the time and talk to your kids about school, because it's important. Education is, you have to have it. Never stop learning. Thank you, Ms. West, for your gift. I really appreciate it. I like working with all the principals. It was great. I don't know, the Michigan State and the ticking on the inside. I'm not sure. We got it soaking out back in a bucket of water right now. So. But, no, just kidding, Ms. West. But I really do appreciate the time I had on here. Ms. Bowles, I wish you the best of luck on the board and the administration. I'll still help out when I can, fellow board members too.
We have somebody
And
who
for,
would like to
yes,
speak.
Ms. Williams.
I want to make a correction. You keep saying the agenda, but the board approved to put
The packet. Right.
The school board packet. I know they, specified that, certain things will be excluded.
Yes,
but
that's
yet
correct.
it was the board packet.
Right.
Because just like I told the city council, we as citizens have a right to know what you guys are voting on. Instead of just looking at the agenda, we would like to know.
Well, that's what, I understand that, and then
You said-
I said at least at the minimum, the agenda. Try to get at least, if we can't get the whole board packet on, then let's try to focus on it, but they should be able to get everything.
Voted to put the packet on there.
Right.
So you have to keep to your word.
We gotta keep to our-
I'm holding it to you.
We gotta keep to our word, you're correct, and we gotta find out why it's not going up there. So we've gotta get it on there, but at the buildings, if they can get, with the meeting notice and the agenda of the meeting, then that way the buildings know. But yeah, the agenda, we did make I think it was about April, May, or somewhere around, that we did say where the community can be better informed about the things, and I'm trying to think, there was a couple of young ladies here that we asked, and they said it was at a study session, I'm almost positive that we talked about it but I'm not sure why that did not go through. There's been a lot going on, and if it wasn't for community members like yourself, we would have We forgot about, I mean, last meeting we had, there was a couple issues brought up, and they shouldn't have been.
And not to be mean or anything, there's no excuse once you vote.
That's right.
Once you vote to say you're gonna do something, we're looking for you to do that. So I'm asking that it just get done.
Okay. Well, Ms. Peck and Anna, hopefully you guys can figure that, and could you let us know what the outcome of that is? And then we can maybe let Ms. Williams and anybody else in the community know that too. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we have an executive session for confidential personnel matters. There will be no action taken afterward except adjournment. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move we go into executive session to discuss a confidential personnel matter.
Support.
Motion by Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Ms. Buckley. Can I get roll call, please?
Mrs. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Theed?
Yes.
Mrs. Funderburg?
Yes.
Mrs. Buckley?
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Kudrick?
Yes.
Mrs. Beard, yes. 7-0.
We need a motion to reconvene out of executive session.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. McLaughlin, supported by Ms. Buckley. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Theed?
Yes.
Mrs. Funderburg?
Yes.
Mrs. Buckley?
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Kudrick?
Yes.
Mrs. Beard, yes.
Need a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Before we do that, can we clarify we are not meeting on December 17th, please?
Yes, we are not meeting on December 17th.
And you
There's
will
no-
notify us by email when you receive
I will
that?
send you a copy of the resignation letter on an attached email, and if you don't get it, call me and I'll drop one by your house or place of business.
And one last item of business, Mr. Chair, since, it was just questioned of me, and it was my intention to do it on the 14th at our study session. The progression by policy is with the vacancy in the presidency, the vice president will assume the presidency. That is automatic until we do our next elections, which will be in July. However, we will, at that point, have to fill the vacancy of the vice president. It was my intention to do that on the January 14th agenda. Is that okay with everybody, or do you want it
Why
done
don't
at
you
the
do it
7th
on
when we get
January
together?
7th? That's your first meeting.
I mean, if you want to do it on the 7th, so we've got that taken care of, it'll take 3 minutes probably to do.
I don't think that session has anybody here but you guys, right?
Yeah, well, usually this,
Well, it
it's
has to
just,
be posted as a meeting anyway.
it's
but-
just an organization, that one there, that
Yeah,
you,
it's just
When did we say we were gonna do our organization meeting? The
in
first?
July. We're leaving it in July.
Okay, we're doing it, but this is just our special, okay.
Yeah.
but you can have
With
it,
Miss Miller, right, from MSBA?
right.
Yeah, this is a special meeting with her. So do we want to do it on the 7th or the 14th?
You should have it on the 7th, because you need to have somebody in there if you're going to do it on the other
True,
meetings.
because I could get hit by a bus, and then we'll need.
Oh, God.
You're teasing.
Well, it could. All right, let's plan it on the.
Well, the cruise didn't kill you, I don't know if the bus will.
Let's just set it up.
Chuckle out of the closet over there.
Let's just set it then for the 7th as an agenda
Come out of the
item.
closet
So then
there,
we
Steve.
need to- It needs to be a special meeting as opposed
Yeah, it'll
to
be
a-
posted as a special meeting anyway. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Are we good?
Yes, we're good.
All
Move
in
to
fa-
adjourn.
Support.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say yes. Nay.
Yay. Tom, you said you were going to do it one last time.
Meeting adjourned.